All right, we should be live. Let me jump out to YouTube and test the coming across. Looks like we got a couple people waiting, people saying hi. Hello. All
Hello,
right.
hello.
Cool. Yeah, let's make sure people can hear you and me okay. So, Stefan, you want to say a few words?
Hello, hello. I'm Stefan. Happy to be here. First time live somewhere.
Yeah, live on the internet. Cool. So yeah, let us know you can see us and hear us okay. You should see a pull request on GitHub from my screen, and then both Stefan and myself in the corner. So let us know you can see us and hear us okay. But yeah, so just as a quick overview, and then I'll pass it off to Stefan. Like, we have been working together on kind of open sourcing, or at least opening up and sharing some of the analytics that we've both been using from our various packages. So I guess in my case, more of the service of Shift, but in Stefan's case, the what you call it, the Laravel Stats package, right? Which gives you
Exactly.
nice stats on like your code and your code base and so forth like that. So we kind of joined efforts and we want to start sharing this, and kind of like my idea for this was really around bare metrics. And if we just kind of look at like their live demo, I really wanted to create a dashboard of this. A couple years back, I gave a talk, Laravel by the numbers, and to this day, I still have people just saying how much they appreciated seeing that and how they used these kind of metrics to kind of help guide the way they wanted to develop. Because data is a really good thing. Like, everyone can talk about opinions, but when you have data backing it up, it really kind of gives you at least a benchmark to decide for or against it. Again, you don't have to pick one specific way, but I think it's nice to see that. So, anyways, that's what we've been working on. And so, yeah, let's kick it over to Stefan to kind of let him go through this PR that he brought up the other day when he was riding his bike. So,
Yeah, let
let
me take
me,
over here.
yeah, share your screen. I'll kick over to Skype, and we should be able to see that. Are you sharing your screen? Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think so yet. I'm just seeing you. Lots of you.
Okay. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Technical difficulties.
It should be the little double window buttons at the bottom. There we go. I'm seeing stuff now.
So here we are.
So yeah, hopefully everyone else is
So
seeing Stefan's screen now. Again, same pull request, but he's going to walk us through kind of the details of it.
yeah, exactly. Um, while I was riding my bike literally on Sunday, I had some ideas how we could design some of those stats we collect with Laravel Stats and with Laravel Shift, or Laravel Stats displays in the console. And here's a bit of text which I wrote for Jason to like educate, or like, hey, that's what we could do. There's a bit of a screenshot, and here's the live demo of that. It's created with Tailwind CSS and Tailwind UI. New-ish CSS framework I really love. And basically, we're going to show how each component is distributed through all of the Laravel applications that are out there and which are sharing data with Shift or with Stats. So for example, we have controllers. We would display something like, oh, a project has like an average of 15 controllers. The controllers have average 52 lines of code, and so on. Or more useful features or numbers like 98% of all projects use controllers. Controllers are something every project has, like models, but maybe something like the new Blade components are stuff not all projects use. Maybe you're interested in, oh, does anyone actually use that? Or am I the only one? So for example, for Blade components, we could display something like, oh, 20% of all projects use that. And we also have some charts here, like, for example, a discussion that's always coming up on Twitter is who is using fillable, who is using guarded, who is using what. And our goal is to highlight which features are used in the community. So for example, in this example, 48% of all projects use guarded against 43% fillable for both. So yeah, that's basically it. Pretty simple design with some numbers.
Yeah, I really liked that resources section you have there. I think that was like something I didn't even consider in the beginning. Like I just thought about all the different graphs and charts, and I kind of got, you know, goo goo eyes for those because they look so fancy. But like the wording and the information here, we really, I think it's so much better. Not only is it a little more MVP, we don't have to worry about making all these graphs. We might have a few, but what I like is kind of the text representation of it and like the education that we can have around it now with, again, this kind of layout. So I think this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and as a little treat, I thought we could add like educatable resources like links to videos or links to articles.
Yeah.
Like Adam Wadden did a great talk at the Laracon called Cross by Design, where he goes into details how you could structure your controllers to be more maintainable for the future or easier to understand, which is something I think everyone should at least see once.
Yeah.
To learn a bit.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of resources out there we can link to. So yeah, I think this in itself will be a nice resource, not only again to see the data, but to be able to link off to like these other sections. So I think what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and merge this just as like a template, as the design template. And then maybe what we can do is fire up a brand new Laravel application. We'll maybe use Blueprint to generate like some models and controllers that'll ultimately kind of generate this type of information or generate this page. So we might not get like every single one, but maybe we can use the controllers section as kind of like as just like a really small snippet of like how to structure the data and like what kind of metrics we'll end up using or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. I don't know. Do you have merge ability?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Merge it up.
Let me merge that.
Yeah, do it.
Boom.
Cool. Okay, so I think I'll take over screen for just a little bit, and then once we set up the initial project, I'll give it back to you, and maybe we can make like a dynamic view out of this design page you made.
All right.
Sweet. So I'm going to kick back over here. And again, let us know in the chat that hopefully everyone's seeing my screen now, which is now the merge dashboard. And well, we'll make it a terminal so it's a little more obvious that we're on a different screen. So let me know in the chat you can see this okay. See my terminal and our faces. Yay. And let's go back here. And I don't think I've cloned this yet, so let's just clone it down, shall we? So let's do a git clone, and let's go into Laravel Stats, and git checkout design idea, I think you called it. Git fetch, or did
or
we?
master.
Oh, it is just in master.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Yeah, just index and readme. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Can you zoom in a bit? I should be at 1080p, hopefully, but I'll bump this up just a bit. Hopefully that helped a little bit. So, and once we get in PHP Storm, I'll make it a little larger as well. So let's make a new Laravel app. So I haven't done that in a while. Let's go out to the docs. I've been meaning to.
Probably don't use authentication, so that's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we can just use the classic composer install or whatever, right? Yeah, let's just use this. So we should be able to do that and just dot since we already have the directory. And this might take just a second for composer to get everything. So. But yeah, I think the goal here, I know it's not an empty directory. Is it required? How do you get over that? I forgot. Can you say, what can you say to tell it?
Ooh, I don't think so. Maybe we have to clear the everything out, start again.
That's weird. I think you can, I thought you could tell it somehow to ignore ignore the local directory. Well, whatever. We'll go back and, whoops, let's go back to Laravel Stats. We'll just put in a subdirectory and then move everything back up. It's fine. So we'll just say subdir. Whoops. Subdir. All right, and then I know I'm going to want Blueprint as well, so let's go out to Blueprint, and we'll install it. No, this one. Yes. All right, so that's bringing everything in. Yeah, before I PR this, we'll just move everything back up.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go to, what is it? I guess into subdir? That's kind of annoying. So let's do a move subdir star to dot. And let's do a GST now. There we go. That should be a lot better. And now let's bring in Blueprint, and then I'll also just use like artisan serve and just make sure we're seeing like the splash page and everything. And then we'll take a look and use Blueprint to try to generate like some basic metrics or stats or whatever. We'll have to figure that out. So I should be able to run artisan serve, and we should see the Laravel page. No, we don't. We get an error. So let's go to the workbench, cd Laravel stats, and cat storage logs. Laravel log, what's wrong here? No encryption key. Uh-oh. PHP artisan key generate, is that right?
Yeah. The output showed it was generated though. Hmm.
Do I still have subdir?
Weird.
Oh, I do. What's in subdir? Maybe it didn't pull over the dot files. No, it did not. That's fun. Move subdir star dot dot. Okay, that's annoying. Let's see if Finder can help me out a little better. Let's go to workspace, Laravel stats, subdir. Oh, I always forget the fancy way to have it show dot files. There's like a command shift dot or command shift comma. Oh,
Command shift dot, I think, yeah.
So annoying. What do you think it was?
Command shift dot.
I thought it was that too, but I'm trying it and it hates me. Doesn't seem to like
maybe
command
it's
shift
different
dot.
on a US keyboard or something.
Maybe. All right, let's move, just for now, we'll just move subdir star.env star to dot. Oh, did it get him? What's wrong? Oh, it seems like it got him. What's still in there? Nothing. Okay. I guess it did get it. I'm not sure what it complained about. False alarm. Anyway, PHP artisan serve. Let's try that again. All right, cool. There's Laravel. So I'm going to let you move the index file to a view, but let's use Blueprint to generate just like a basic stats controller for the time being, and maybe go ahead and start generating some of the models. So going back to your handy dandy, or well, you know what? Let's just look at it in the browser. Let's move index to public stats.html. And let's go to artisan serve again. And we'll take a look at stats.html. Oh, stat. There we go. So just kind of like, let's focus on a section here and think of like what these models would look like. So I think
Yeah.
it would be really nice to be able to maybe have like a high level, section or stat, or I don't know, we could just call it like a section. And
In the
then,
package, we call it components. So maybe we could
okay,
use that, or
yeah.
maybe it's
No, components is
too
good.
similar to something else.
No, I think that's okay. So we could just have something like a component or even just a section, and a section has resources, potentially, like it has many resources. And then maybe like a stats or a metric. And the metric ones are going to be tricky because they're going to have like different formats, but for the time being, we can just focus on like it has a name and a number effectively.
Yeah.
But maybe eventually there's different types, like a percentage type, which the percentage like is displayed first or something like that. We don't have to worry about that today. I think we can just get the basics down. So let's start drafting this. So I'm gonna do PHP artisan blueprint new. Oh, I don't have a database configured. That's probably going to be an issue. So let's fix that. So let's go.
You could use an SQLite database or something
Yeah, let's just use an
to supply.
SQLite database. I agree. So let's call this Laravel Stats Dev, and shouldn't need any of that stuff. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And yeah, let's just use an SQLite database for now. And let's do PHP artisan migrate, or migrate fresh. What is it not like? Connection refused. Oh, do you have to touch database database.sql, I think. Yeah, and then I need to, the database name is just, we actually shouldn't need any of this. I'm also in example.env, which is a big problem. Let's try that again. There we go. And then just to make sure that's good, let's check out. Yeah, the default database is database.sqlite, so let's fix that. So let's move database.sqlite. Whoops. Database/database.sql. There we go. Okay, and let's try PHP artisan migrate fresh. There we go. What's interesting to me is these. It's interesting that the users table is still in there, even though I didn't do Laravel like UI.
You're right. Yeah.
I know it comes with it,
Why?
which is fine. It's not necessarily a complaint. It's just kind of interesting that these come pre-generated. I'm actually going to get rid of them because we won't need them. But I want to keep the migrations folder, so we'll just touch a database migrations.get keep. All right, cool. And let's run just fresh again for giggles. Okay, nothing to migrate. Good. So now when I do PHP artisan blueprint new, should trace one model, which will be the user's model, which we probably also don't need, so I'm going to delete it as well. No models found. There we go. Cool. All right. Yeah, Zool is all over it. They're like mob programming with us in the chat.
Yeah.
There's just a slight delay, so I'm like a half second ahead of you, but I appreciate the checkup. Okay, so let's go draft a blueprint file now. So we've got this draft file that it made, and we got some models. So I think we'll just call it section for now, and a section is going to have, let's call it a title, maybe?
Yeah.
And that'll just be
Probably the
like
best.
a string, and then maybe we'll have like some kind of like synopsis, and that'll be some long text, That's that. And that's probably it for now, because everything else is going to
Yeah.
be like a more of a has many. So, so yeah, cool. So let's do that. Let's do relationships, and I think it's just has many, and we can say resource. And to that point, let's make a resource. And a resource is really just going to have a title and a link, or a URL, right?
Yeah.
And then a URL, let's call it just a string, I guess. And that should be that. And then, of course, it's going to be, I guess it's going to need a section ID, right? And that's an ID.
Yes. Yeah.
And that
The
should,
has many. Yeah.
yeah, and that should take care of the belongs to relationship in reverse. So that's good. So the easy ones are done. Let's go back to talking about the hard ones here. So let's call this a metric, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so
It's
let's
the
say,
most versatile
yeah,
name, I think.
let's say metric. And to that point, we're probably going to have many metric models as well. So let's break that up. And then what do we have here? Let's just say a title, another title is a string, and maybe a stat of some kind.
Or
Now,
a value. I don't know.
value, yeah,
Value is maybe too vague.
too generic. Yeah, I don't know. Let's leave it stat for now, but yeah, we may come back to that. The only reason I'm leaving it stat is because it can maybe be something else, and then it's probably going to have like a
Yeah.
type of like, integer or boolean or percentage or whatever, right, later on. But for
Mm.
now, let's just make it a string. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. Okay, cool. And then let's make a section controller, and we'll just call it resource and make an index for now, because that should be all we need. All right,
Yeah.
PHP artisan blueprint build. Okay, there we go. We got our migrations. We've got section, resource, metric. We have some database factories later on if we want to write some tests. We got the section controller, an index blade view, which you're going to clean up here in just a minute, and we have the web route. So if I do PHP artisan migrate, we should get those. Awesome. And then PHP artisan serve, we should be able to go to section. And again, this naming doesn't really matter because our ultimate goal is to output a, yeah, okay, so section is what we're after. That goes to section controller index. Beautiful. And let's go see what section controller index looks like. So it just gets all the sections and dumps it out to the view. Pretty easy stuff. So let's say section. Okay, apps layout's not found. Okay, I'm going to let you probably resolve some of these issues, but I will provide a little more help before I ping pong this back to you. So let's make a seeder for you, and we'll just fill out that controllers section real quick.
Yeah.
That way it's a little easier for you to start working with this stuff. So let's go back to the command line, and let's do PHP artisan make. You know what? I think Blueprint does seeders, but I don't think I've tagged it yet. So we'll just make a seeder, and we'll just call this like a we'll just call it controller, or like maybe just, yeah, controller metrics seeder. And I'll clean this up for you a bit. So let's just kind of make a real nasty one real fast. So let's go to controller metrics seeder, and what we'll do is we'll do a section create, and we'll just dump in, and this will be controller, and we'll call it title title. And the title is going to be controllers. And the synopsis is going to be whatever you've written out here in the world. Let's go back to stat.
It's just lorem ipsum.
Oh, is it just more? Okay, well, all the same, we'll steal it for now. I'll just steal it straight from here. It'll be a little easier. So let's take, or well, you know what? It's going to be easier from the browser. That's wrong. Serve, refresh, there we go. Let's just steal this. Just so we have some fidelity when you're going to be mocking this back up. All right. So that should give us a controller section, and there's kind of nothing else to do there. Let's do some resources now. So we'll say resource. Did I spell that right? Resource. That's the correct spelling. Create, and we'll do the same thing. We have a title, which will be learn to use resource controllers. And the link, or we said URL, didn't we?
Yeah.
Is going to be probably to the docs, I guess. Oh, you just go to the
Currently
same page.
nothing, but
well,
yeah.
Let's be good kids. Let's go to resource. Whoops, resource controller. There we go. Let's go to this. That's fun. Because we'll probably actually really use these down the road. And we're going to want its section ID to be controller ID. And you know what? We should probably call that controller section. Just for giggles. Even though this is really just test data, we may eventually seed this with real stuff, so may as well be better about it. And then we've got Adam Wathen's Cruddy by Design. And that's probably out there somewhere too. Adam Wathen, Crud by Design. Yeah, there it is. Cruddy by Design. And we'll say Cruddy by Design. Oh, did I not get that? Crap. There we go. Let's try that again. There it is. And then finally, the more annoying ones will be metric. And let's say metric. And then the title on these, let's just get a few more. Average classes. And what did we call that? Stat. And this will just be 15. And we'll just replicate this 3 more times. So 1, 2, 3. We've got average lines of code. And we've got average method per controller. Whoops. We'll have to figure out the proper order of those. We might want some kind of like ordinal. And maybe we'll call this like, this is where it's going to get a little weird, but we'll call this that, just to kind of demonstrate the weirdness in this one. So we got 3.5, and that's 52. Okay, I think we got that right. Let's run this seeder, and let's go to that view real fast. Index.blade. And just for now, we'll just do like a DD on sections. Oops, don't need that. We're in Blade. And I will comment this out for you. Cool. And going back to our controller, not that controller. Going back to stat controller, or section controller. Oh my gosh, where am I? Section controller, there it is. So many things got generated. So we probably want this, or well, we'll optimize later. I was gonna say like with stuff, but it'll be okay. We can clean it up later. Let's just see what ends up dumping out here. So let's do PHP artisan db seed dash dash class. Copy that, and I think you need an equal sign. Oh, we gotta import stuff. I normally use PHP Storm, but we did not. So app section and metric and resource. Resource. Yeah. Cool. That should be better. Let's try that again. Metrics column has no name, section ID. Metrics column. Did we not do that right? Let's bring up the metric. Metric. Stat. Integer. Why didn't it get that? Did I forget that in Blueprint? Blueprint. Oh, not that. Draft. I'm used to using PHP Storm. There we go. I did. I totally missed section. Since we just need this one, it's probably easier just to... And this is actually a classic thing with Blueprint. Like, what do you do when you need to redo one of these? Well, I just kind of delete it. It's faster. So let's just delete it. Well, it was faster. PHP artisan blueprint build. And let's get rid of that original one there, and everything else should end up being okay. Yeah, metric factory, all that stuff should have got regenerated. So let's do fresh again. And let's do the seed command again. And let's do the serve command again. And let's see if we're in a place where you can take over now. So let's go back to section. And there we go. We got some items. So just one section, which is hopefully the controller section. There we go. Yay. Cool. All right. So I'm going to commit this as a whip and maybe see if you want to kind of bring to life at least that top section and then the controller section in a view. And then from there, we can see how easy it's going to be, hopefully, to just feed this database with real metrics once we kind of calculate all those.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Yeah, so let's do git add, not a big fan of this, but we'll do git add dot, and we'll do git remove dot blueprint. I don't actually want to commit the blueprint stuff. And let's also remove the draft file. Git status, let's see what we have here. Yeah, so I did move it to public, so just keep that in mind. And we should be able to git remove -f draft.yaml. There we go. All right, git commit, or well, let's check out another branch. Git checkout -b Laravel app. Git whip, or we can do better than that. Git commit initial Laravel 7 install plus blueprint build. Git push origin head. All right. Let me switch the stuff. If you want to pull down and run Composer install on your side, I'll switch the video back to you. And we'll go for another... Oh, are you there? Did I lose your audio? Can you hear me? I cannot hear you anymore. Can the audience hear either of us? Maybe your, did your AirPods maybe disengage or something? Let's find out. I cannot hear you. Yeah. Why don't you bounce Skype? Let's end the call. I'll call you back. Let's see if the audience can hear us. Hello?
Hello, hello. Do you
Okay,
hear me?
good. I can hear you again. Let's see if the audience can hear you again now too. Can the audience hear Stefan now that we bounced Skype? Only me. Okay. Let's check the audio input. Only JMac. Stefan, you want to say a couple things?
Hello, hello. Here I am again.
I'm getting audio through Ecamm for you, so hopefully the audience can hear you again now. Can only hear JMac.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. How can we fix this now? Now both. Okay, okay. Yeah, there's a
Oh,
little lag. There's a little lag on the stream. Okay, good. Well, if you want to share your screen, we should go back to you now.
yeah. 1 second. Share screen.
All right. I am going to go back down to single screen, and then once you share screen, we should be back on track. And we'll go about another 20 minutes and go from there. So let's bring...
You should see something.
Yes, I do. I just need to go full screen. 1 sec. Okay, good. We should be full screen on Stefan's screen now, and we're going to make that index page a little bit more dynamic with the work we've done.
Let me
And
run
like,
compose install first before I see anything.
yeah, no probs. Cool. So yeah, so we'll probably go another 15, 20 minutes because I know Frake and them are going to stream here in a bit, and I want to make sure I'm able to watch that. So yeah, let's see how far we get until the hour.
Composer so slow sometimes.
Oh yeah, no problem. We can go ahead and bring up the code. So
Yeah. So here is the old code and resources, views, section, index. Great. So let me just scrap everything here and let's start fresh.
well, I wouldn't scrap everything. I mean, you've already built the wrapper for the page. You may as well just like
Okay.
start putting in the layouts and all that stuff.
Let's just make things a bit bigger. So let's remove stuff we really don't need.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just it's just the controllers. Composer is done. So let's watch this.
I probably didn't commit the .env file, so you'll probably have to make your own.
I've already created that.
Oh,
It should
awesome.
work.
So fast.
Hmm. Nope. Okay. RT generated. What?
Uh,
RT
oh
server.
yeah, serve view. I think in new versions of Laravel, they're gonna trigger that without having to bounce it.
And you have to use the right section file here. Oh god.
So you gotta make a SQLite.
I
Yeah.
have to migrate.
Ah, there you go. Cool. I should have sent you the command for the Cedar.
No problem. You can copy and paste. And see.
Yeah, it's dash dash class equals.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I wish you could just pass it without the dash dash class, but whatever.
I think we could edit the database seeder here.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to run like all the time. But yeah, that's fine if you want to
Yeah.
do that for convenience. Until we had like the final, sections.
Yeah.
This was kind of a one-off. But yeah,
So
that's fine.
we already have this here. So let's loop over things. Uh, sections. Where do we have it? It's already a single section, right? Section format.
Yeah.
So sections, section. Put all of this inside. And that's section title.
Nice.
Section synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry. And resources, that's a relationship, section relationships. This should work as
Section resources.
resources.
Yeah.
Resource.
As resource.
Jesus.
That's all right.
And for each, yeah, that's it. My brain is melting in the summer heat here.
No worries.
Name. Resource URL, I think. Title.
No, you're good. Oh, yeah, sorry. Title. URL is good. And then in the for each, there's just an as missing.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
That should look good.
Let's give it a spin again. Oops.
Oh, did it put it on a different port maybe since you were bouncing it a couple times? No?
No, I found. I think my MacBook is
Oh,
not that fast.
that's okay.
But here we are.
So those are going to the right place now. Cool. So that's
Great.
good.
Now for the fun stuff.
Now for the fun stuff. Yeah.
So, section metrics.
Nice.
I think Tailwind makes this everything so much easier. We could just do that. Metric title, I think.
Yeah.
Name.
No, title's good. And then stat.
Or stats.
Yeah, we called it stat.
Another refresh. Jesus.
You shouldn't have to bounce serve every time.
Really?
No, it's only when you have a environment configuration change.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll refresh the page for you.
I just use Valet all the time, so.
Cool.
So yeah, the stuff is duplicated.
Yeah, it'll just take out the old now. Now, was there any kind of like special spacing if you were the first or last one, or are they all pretty self-contained?
They're all self-contained.
Nice.
And we're using CSS Grid here, which does all the magic for us.
Oh yeah, nice.
Great.
So, yeah, that was a lot faster than I thought. Awesome. So we noticed though on the 98% of projects use controllers, we can start to see that of course we're going to need to have like a metric type, if you will, that maybe helps us display it a little bit better. So we probably won't focus on that in today's stream, but we can see now that we've built out this one section dynamically and how easy that was made not only by Laravel, but Tailwind and Tailwind UI kit, and Blueprint also, just being able to generate those models and stuff quickly. that we're really going to be able to start cooking with fire on this and just kind of focus on just those nice little tweaks, and of course, not having lore ipsum text. So,
Yeah.
so real quick before we finish, since that was so quick, let's take a minute just to streamline this template a little bit with some cool, with a little more blade hierarchy. So maybe let's go ahead and break out the outer portions of the page into a layout. So if we just want to make like a layouts folder in that app. And then we could also use some cooler blade blade directives.
Div is missing. So going to yield the content here.
Sure.
Yields. Yield.
I think it's just yield. I always forget though too.
And what do we have here?
We used to have the add extend. You could check it on Git, or yeah, just type it. It's whatever you want.
Yeah, it's app.
Nice.
Content. And section.
Yeah, I think in section's fine. I think sometimes there's other alternatives, but yeah, that should be fine. So hopefully it looks the same when we refresh. If it refreshes.
If it refreshes, yeah. Come on, Firefox. What's going on?
It's just hanging out is all. I don't know. Maybe it's just the same page. Nope. Something's frozen.
No. Give me a sec. It comes in.
Well, give it a sec to catch up. It seems like it's working hard.
My MacBook is definitely not the fastest.
That's okay. We'll just go back to the code. We'll give it a sec to refresh.
One thing I thought about is like we could add blade components. So
yeah, I definitely think that's something we could do. Maybe not just yet. I think the quick other
here. You said something about blade.
Yeah, I do think we should have a template for. So there's something that I really like when I'm doing like a huge, section like this, and it's not really a whole lot of logic between the for each. It's just an output. I'll actually use each and make a partial.
Yeah.
So we can do.
It's called maybe partials folder.
Yeah, we'll just do like a partials and then maybe like
okay.
a. Well, I would call this one section. We may do this multiple times, but we'll just start with a section for the purposes of the video, and then just take that. Cool. And then we should.
Lazy way would be like include.
Yeah, the lazy way would be that, which is fine. But I think we can actually use each and pass it a template name, and then you pass it the collection. We can go out to the docs and find the exact syntax if you want. It should be under the blade section.
Blade. So
I would just search the page for @each. It's in here somewhere. There it is.
Yeah, no use for collections. Pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. So you're just gonna say $sections and then comma section, and it should be good to go.
Oh, section.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So give it a spin. Now it works.
Boom.
Voila.
Super boom. And let's just prove that it totally works. Jump into section and just in the title, just say something like each or something. I mean, we know it works, but just to show the audience, check that out. Boom. Cool. Let's commit this. I think this is good. This is a good stopping point for today.
Let me commit.
Right on time.
Let's call this add view structure.
Yeah. Yeah, breakout view or make view dynamic. Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you, dynamic.
I don't think we're seeing tower on the screen, but that's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
That's all right.
Already pushed to
Cool.
Oracle on GitHub.
All right, well, I'm going to switch back to my screen to close things out, and we'll make sure I can pull it down and see it, and then we'll stop. We'll stop the chat from there. So let's pull this down. Whoops. Git pull origin. What is this? We called it Laravel app.
Yes.
There we go. And let me make sure we're seeing both of us. So let me bring us both back up on the video. Awesome. And we should just simply be able to say PHP artisan serve, since it's all front-endy stuff. Okay, and let's just go to section again. And there we are. Look at that. I can see everything you just did. Cool. So yeah, so the goal now, Google Translate was trying to translate the lore ipsum. That's funny. Cool. Okay, so yeah, we're going to continue to work on this and make this obviously more dynamic. But check us out on Twitter because we're probably going to announce the merging of the Laravel Stats package, which is going to allow you to contribute stats to this page anonymously, of course, but just so we can get more projects being, shared. And more percentages to see all this stuff. And then, of course, I'll backfill it with historical data from Shift as well. Again, to be able to kind of just show these numbers at a high level to help you make decisions about your Laravel project and things like that. So again, if you all have ideas, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know in the comments of the video if you have ideas. Oh, I'd love to see metrics on this and whatever. So because this is really just the beta. It's just the beginning. We're hoping to do a lot more. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, cool. Well, yeah, maybe we'll do one more live stream when it's a little bit closer and then launch it. But yeah, let's go jump out and bother Frake and watch their video. So thank you all for watching today, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye bye.